Preparing to go live stream. That bong usually means that I've been successful. The meeting is now live streaming on our custom live streaming service to YouTube. My name is Graham Hooper from Tri Coaching Partnership, and this is Phil Ruberry, one of our trainers. Phil, we're going to kick straight into this interview. Tell me about yourself.
Okay, so Cornish born and bred. I'm very, very proud of it. I've been ADI for 15 years and a tri-coaching trainer. I've done IAM, I've done RoSPA. I'm an HGV1 license holder. And I actually work in Surrey. I'm about 2.5 miles off of Gatwick Airport. So I've got the windows open, so you may hear the odd airplane running by.
I should imagine it would be an odd aeroplane running by at the moment, is it?
EasyJet are having a bit of a blast at the moment. But I think what it is, they're moving planes to wherever they need them next at the moment. There's been 4 go off in the last 20 minutes. But yeah, it's been lovely. It's been really quiet around here.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I left college, I worked with the Ministry of Agriculture in doing veterinary research. Then I had a thing, I wanted to go lorry driving. So I did several years of that, driving long distance out of Cornwall, a few years taxi driving. Then I got married, moved to Surrey, and became an ADI.
Okay, so I see there's a strange island in the background.
Yeah, that's St Michael's Mount in Cornwall, in Mounts Bay. I actually live the far side of the bay, or used to live the far side of the bay. But yeah, so sort of remind me of home, really, especially during this lockdown time, because we're not getting down to it.
Yeah, cool. I thought you were going to say, when you're going to tell me about yourself, I thought you were going to say, well, I used to be a pirate. Yeah.
Once a pirate, always a pirate. So I'm still a pirate.
Yeah, cool. Okay. What's your interest? Tell me about yourself a little bit more outside of the working environment.
Outside of the working environment, during lockdown, I've recently dragged the bicycle out of the shed. Had that done up. I'm doing a little bit of cycling now, which I'm really enjoying. The backside's not enjoying it very much, I'll be honest. I enjoy watching sports. I enjoy driving, and also if I can get by the sea, by the water, anywhere, that's probably where I feel most at home. Even a big puddle will do.
Even a big puddle. That's cool. What's the nearest big puddle to you now then, in Gatwick?
Actually, where I live, we've got a little crescent of 17 houses, and we've got a big pond right in the middle of it. So that's the nearest puddle. But apart from that, I suppose Brighton would be my nearest sea. But
I should imagine there'd be a few down there at the moment. It was I had to go to the shops earlier. It was 29 degrees. Yeah.
I should think it's rammed down there. So we're avoiding that side of it at the moment.
Okay, cool. You talked about some of your past experience. What sort of work do you do now? I know you're an ADI, but you're a little bit more than you teach learner drivers, I believe. But tell me what you do for a living.
Yeah, I've got about half a dozen learners that I sort of teach at the moment. Partly to keep my hand in, because I'm sort of trying to move more into the instructor training side of things. And I think if I'm going to train instructors, I need to know what's expected of them on a practical basis.
Okay.
So I try and keep up with a few learners. I do fleet work. Some I do for you at Drivermetrics.
Yeah.
And generally help ADIs with standards check training, anything they want in that way, really. So yeah, so sort of just trying to cover all bases, but as I say, trying to move more into the instructor training side of things.
Okay. Tell me about your CPD. What sort of continued professional development have you done within the industry?
I think the most influential CPD I did was doing the BTEC level 4. with tri-coaching. When I first started in the industry, I went through the old PST system, and I must say I wasn't, when I started teaching, I wasn't overly satisfied with what I was doing. I was getting people through the tests, and they were learning how to drive, but there was just something missing. Now, when I first moved up, I got married in August 2004 and sort of qualified virtually at the same time. So when I moved up here, I had no customer client base or anything. So I joined the AA driving school to start with. And I was very lucky because the coach they gave me, or the mentor, was Lynn Webb.
Okay, I know Lynn, yeah.
And then when Lynn left the AA, I sort of moved with her. And one day she contacted me and said, I've seen this coaching course. Do you fancy having a go? So we had a chat. Lynn knew of Susan through BSM. I actually knew of John Farland because some years previously in the late 90s, I'd started the ADI process with John, did part 1, part 2, and then for various reasons I let it slide. But obviously that John had that coaching element going even back then. So we went up and we came to Coventry on the second BTEC 4 course, Holiday Inn at Coventry.
Yeah, I remember it.
And I remember we did the session and we left the hotel, and we were probably a good 10 or 15 minutes back down the M1 before either of us actually spoke.
Okay.
And Lynn said, what did you think of that? And I said, my mind is just buzzing. But that was the start. And I've always said if it wasn't for that course, then probably I wouldn't be in the industry now. It just sparked something off, and it was started to give me what I wanted. So that was the most influential bit of CPD. I think I've done all the tri-coaching courses, some of them more than once. Recently did the presentation skills course, which was another mind-blowing course, really. Wasn't too sure what to expect when I went to that one, but that certainly had a profound effect. And I've done courses with other providers, really just to get different views on things.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And sometimes you can go on a course and you think, well, I've not got nothing out of it, but I wouldn't do it that way. So it's seeing a bigger picture, I suppose, really, and taking what I want from it.
Yes, no, absolutely. And of course, it's that mix with other people as well, ADIs of like-minded minds. That's a big thing about going on a course. Yeah. And I can actually just thinking about the BTEC 4. If you were on the second course, there must have been about 30 ADIs on that course. There was. It was a big course, yes. And I mean, there's some of them that are obviously tri-coaching trainers now. There's Terry Leftery, Di, who else? Oriel. Yep. And bless him, Tony Benton, when he was still around. Okay, yeah, big Tony. Yeah. So that was a good course, and it's nice to have that contact still with the people that we were on with then. Yeah, no, that's really good. Well, I suppose, I mean, how would you describe, being part of tri-coaching as one of our trainers? How would you describe it? When I talk to anybody about it, if people ask me, I describe it as a big family, really. It's very supportive. The whole setup is very supportive. There's always someone you can talk to. Everybody is friendly, helpful. I can't think of anyone who I've come into contact with on tri-coaching who I would not sit in the test centre with. Let's put it that way. Okay, all right. Yes, I can think of a few people I wouldn't want to sit in the test centre with, but none of them would be part of our team. And there is some good people across the ADI range, but yes, there is some people that we all know them and have met them in the test centre, and I can what's the word, adhere with that, shall I say, Phil? Phil, tell me about your character. What are your strengths? Sorry, you went a bit on that one, right? What are your strengths? My strengths. Patient, calm,
I think I'm a good listener. I do listen to what people have to say. And I know I can be a bit quiet, but that's very often because I'm just taking it in and internalizing things. I think helpful, but yeah, patient, calm, relaxed. Yeah, I think they're probably my main strengths. In fact, my wife said to me earlier, we were just sort of looking at things, and she said, "You don't panic in a crisis." So
yeah, nice.
You know.
Yeah, well, that's good being a driving instructor. You don't want to be panicking in a crisis, do you? Because we have enough of them on the open road.
That's right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, I was just thinking about going back to work. I mean, what's the greater risk, our clients or COVID-19?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. I think I'm gonna have to think very hard and long about how we're going to come back to work.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. Let's just have a look at things being normal just for the moment. Where would you like your career to be 5 years from now?
5 years from now, wow. I mean, 5 years at my age is quite a long way to look ahead.
Yep.
I think all being well, health being well, and so on, I will still be working. I can't see myself giving up work. In fact, I was loading cauliflower on a farm many years ago on the lorries, and the farmer said to me, he said, "You and I, boy," he said, "we'll always die in harness." He said, "We'll never retire." So I think I'll still be working, but easing back a bit, but hopefully going more forward on the instructor training, possibly getting more involved in road safety sort of things. I think that's where I would,
Well, I know that you're involved as a. You didn't mention RoSPA, because I know you do some work for RoSPA, or you do. I'm not sure. Tell me a bit about what your role is with RoSPA.
Yeah, so I just recently upgraded my RoSPA again. Actually, gone back to the gold again. But I'm a RoSPA approved tutor, I think they call us now, and I go to a group once a month on a voluntary basis, and we have people come along there, and we do observe drives with them and hopefully point them in the right direction. As I say, we do it once a month, obviously not at the moment. So that's what I'm doing with RoSPA. It's just observing, and occasionally, if people want a little bit more help, then they'll give me a call and we'll go out and we'll do a bit of work, still helping them to try and improve their driving, improve the safety side of things. Some people we get want to get it for a professional reason, look good on a CV and so on. Some people we get are people who maybe had an accident, or we do get some women, it tends to be maybe whose partners have died, and it's always been the husband who's done, or the partner who's done the driving. So it's a confidence building thing. They're not necessarily interested in taking a test. And I think there is important to work with as people who actually want to go and obtain the test pass. So,
yeah, cool. That's good. I mean, because it is voluntary, you don't get paid for it. In fact, I know that one of the guys you were working with or assessing with was a relation of mine.
Mark. Yeah,
Mark Roberts. Yeah. And he. I'd just like to say, Phil, he did get his gold.
Yeah. Nice chap, actually. I like Mark.
No, he's a good guy.
And very good to listen, which was nice.
He won't like what I say. He's got a cafe on Wimbledon Common. Okay, it's actually because he calls it tea rooms. So it's a cafe.
Right, okay.
All right, that's what it's a posh cafe on Wimbledon Common.
Yeah.
But it's if anyone ever goes in there, mention my name and you'll have to pay double.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you got any goals over the next year?
Goals over the next year, more CPD. I'm always happy to go on courses, because as I say, I always get something from them, and each time I go, it's like a little kick up the backside again. Keep pushing yourself forward. Want to revisit the BTEC 4, at least some of the elements of that. Maybe do.
Well, you can always come and do that online, Phil.
Yes. Yeah.
We're delivering it online now.
Yeah, I was actually going to have a look at one of the standards check courses online. I think it's next week. I was going to have a look at that.
Okay.
But yeah, just as I say, just maybe leaving the learners dry off a little bit more. Maybe keep a couple, but push on the instructor training. And I'll still keep my fleet work going, because I do enjoy the fleet work side of things. Working with full license holders and getting them to see the light sometimes, you know,
Yes.
quite a revelation. It's what they think or don't think is very often the key.
Yeah, because I might have some work with you. I might have some work for you in London, trailer towing, but we'll discuss this at another time, I think.
Yeah.
How would you describe your training style?
Relaxed. I like to think that we have fun in the car. We do a lot of laughing,
Good.
whether that's nerves or just just general amusement. I like to sort of exude an air of confidence when I'm training, so that hopefully then that air of confidence will pass over to the pupil. But yeah, relaxed, calm, and again, just listening and watching what their body language is telling me, as well as what they're actually saying, and then adjusting what I do to suit the trainee. I think that's really important. Not just treating them. I used to have this little saying: I treat all my pupils the same. I treat them differently. So, you know, looking at what they need rather than what I want to give them, which was what I used to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a very good point, because, you know, we can't, if we treat all our pupils the same, then we're back to a one size fits all.
Exactly.
You know, and yeah, everybody's an individual, and we treat them as an individual. We always treat them with unconditional positive regard, of course, respect, and in a non-judgmental way. But yeah, they're all different. We have to treat them differently.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point, Phil. Really good.
Yeah.
What's your proudest achievement? This is a lifetime achievement. So,
obviously, children.
Yeah.
Real achievement.
So we scrub them because they're just expensive.
They're a given.
Yeah.
Tying my wife down. I'm getting married.
Tying her down, Uncle.
Yeah. I think my proudest achievement, one of the things that I did many years ago, which I often think about, I'm actually a paid up member of the British Divers Marine Life Rescue.
Okay.
And we actually got us, there was just off of St Michael's Mount there, there's an outcrop of rocks, and at low tide they uncover, and there was a stranded whale there one day.
All right.
We refloated the whale. We were with her in the water for about 6 hours, I think. Got her refloated, and then all of a sudden she said, "Thank you very much," and she was gone.
Wow.
But that was quite a moment, I've got to say.
Wow. Yeah, I can feel that from here.
Yeah, I mean, there were two guys. We had her in like a pontoon, like a sling.
Yeah.
And two guys on the caudal, on the tail, just rocking it up and down. Because apparently they get cramped very badly if they're not kept moving.
Okay.
These two guys were just rocking it. And when she decided to go, she just went boom with her flukes, and these guys completely cleared the water, and like 10 foot either side. And we pulled the cable away, and I say she was just gone. They followed her with a high-speed boat for a mile or so just to make sure she was still heading out to sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite a moment. I've always been really chuffed about that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. You mentioned cycling. I don't know whether this is the right question then, because you also mentioned the fact that it gives you a pain in the butt. What do you like to do?
Well, let's say going back to the cycling, I've actually enjoyed doing that. But generally, I like to walk. Wife and I go walking. Maybe not as often as we could do, but I like walking. I love just sitting by the sea. I'm very sea orientated. I can go anywhere if I've got the sea by me. I can sit there and I can just watch it for hours. And I watch quite a bit of sport, all types of sport, but mostly rugby. I'm a rugby man, really.
Is that a rugby union?
Rugby union, yeah.
Yeah.
I played for, talking about Pirates earlier, I played for the club, the Penzance and Newlyn Pirates, for quite a few years. And they're now the Cornish Pirates, who are in the second tier of rugby now. It was amateur when I played.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I still love to watch my rugby.
Okay. So is your the Cornish Pirates thing?
Yeah, Cornish Pirates are probably the main side that I watch, but in the Premiership, Exeter Chiefs, because they're
Exeter Chiefs, yeah. Okay.
London Wasps, or what was London Wasps, they're actually playing Coventry now, but Wasps were. I used to play against the Wasps. They used to come on Easter tour to Cornwall. You'd have the Wasps one year, Saracens another year.
Okay.
We used to have Cardiff would come down, Gloucester. We had everybody, virtually every side you see in the Premiership now, used to come down on Easter tour back in the amateur days. So I played with and against a lot of high class international and county players. So yeah.
Yeah, my junior school was a junior school called De Bowen Junior School, and Saracens were actually based in De Bowen Park.
Yeah.
Before they became big.
Yes.
That's where they played. So I used to watch the Saracens play rugby loads.
Yeah.
When I was a boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, that's cool. What's impacted you most in your career, do you think? What's had the biggest impact on you?
Let's say BTEC 4 definitely made a big impact. And just being part of Try Coaching, I think, really has been a big impact. Let's say Lynn had a big influence. She helped me a lot through the years, and I still have contact with her as well. Yeah. But certainly being part of this this sort of family, as I refer to them, where I feel I can get support if I need it.
Okay. Have you got any lifelong dreams still? Yeah, because you said, I ain't got long left. I've got a couple of minutes and I'll be pegging it and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Get through COVID-19, stay healthy, get as good as I can possibly be at what I do through CPD and so on, and help other people get as good as they can possibly be. That, I think, is probably my lifelong dream. Okay, that's good. It's nice. Okay. Phil, this is the big question. Few people have stumbled on this question. Okay. It is a challenge for most people, but and I want you to be brutally honest. Honest. I was going to say kind, but I want you to be honest because I know you're a great guy anyway. You wouldn't lie to me. How do you think I rate as an interviewer? Okay, so I can remember a while ago now, we were having a conversation, not just you and I, there was a few others there, and we were talking about interviewers with good coaching skills, or good questioning skills. And you mentioned listen to Desert Island Discs. Roy Plumley and Sue Lawley, I think, were the two people you mentioned. So I think, I would put you in their bracket, Graham. You get the best of people. Okay, like that. I'll take that. I'll move on now. What kind of... remember Roy Plumley, actually. Yeah, no one knows who you're talking about, so I'm fine with that because he was really good. Yeah. What kind of car do you drive? I've got a Focus I use for training. Yeah. And I've got a Jaguar XE for my fun car, my own personal use. Okay. I suppose this is going to be a pretty obvious answer now, but I'm going to answer it anyway. Look, if you could be anywhere in the world right now, this moment in time, where would you be? A couple of places. Okay. One would be on the Channel Islands in Guernsey, where I actually should be at the moment, but it got cancelled. Again, sitting on the cliffs, probably looking across the sea. Yeah. And the other one is, well, no, you can't really make it out in the background. There's a place called Bartinny Moor in the middle of West Penwith, out towards Land's End, where if you go on top of Bartinny Moor, you can see St Michael's Mount, you can see the Isles of Scilly, and you can almost see around to St Ives. So you can actually see three coasts. And it's just an amazing view. And as a child, I used to do horse riding as a child. We used to spend hours and hours riding up and down over these moors.
Oh yeah, because I know your Facebook profile picture's got. Is that you on the horse?
No, I don't know where that one came from.
Okay, because I know there's a guy on a horse waving a flag.
Yeah, it's the Cornish flag, the Cornish flag. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What was the last book you read?
This one, Wilbur Smith.
Okay.
I've read all his stuff over the years. This one, he does a lot about South Africa. This one is about India and the British Empire starting up, and then it moves on to the War of Independence in America. But yeah, sort of, as I say, his books, the first 2 or 3 lines always hook me in, and once I get it, that's it. I'm a loss to anybody else, really.
Okay, good. Yeah, I like that. What movie or box set has been the best one you've watched in the last year?
Movie would be Fisherman's Friends. I don't know if you've seen that. That's about.
No, I haven't seen it.
There's a group in Port Isaac in Cornwall. They're just pub singers, basically. They just sing in the pub, and then they actually recorded and they do tours of the country and so on. So that was a good film. It was the story of how they sort of came into being. And Yesterday, about the Beatles music, that was a really it was a well thought out film. The way they did it, with the guy getting knocked off his bike and then regressing a little bit, and nobody had heard of the Beatles and so on. You know, it was just an interesting, light-hearted film to watch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Actually, that's on my to-do list to watch. Actually, that one Yesterday. Phil, what would you do if you won the lottery? What are you going to do?
See my family all right, obviously. I got some charities that I really quite interested in. Lifeboat, some animal charities. I'd have to give a £5 to a cats league for my wife because she's into cats. But the other thing I often thought, if I had plenty of money, I would love to buy a plot of land and just put roads on it and turn it into like a whole training area for people to maybe start off their learning to drive, and you can make it big enough to let HGVs on there. But it would need quite a bit of money and a lot of land. So that not
going to be in the southeast then, even if you win the lottery. It's not going to be in the southeast.
No, I could just buy one field. Yeah.
Yeah. No, cool. Okay. I suppose. Well, you've already told me this. What's your favourite memory? So I'm not going to ask you that. Actually, I want to ask you this question: if you were going to be an animal, which one would it be?
An animal would have to be a dolphin.
A dolphin.
They're in the sea, they're in the water, they have fun, they're social, and they always seem happy. You know, they're always
okay. Yeah, they've always got a smile on their face.
Always got a smile on their face. Yeah, and they just love playing. So dolphin, I think.
Okay, I could go in that. Yeah, I like the just love playing bit. I could just play forever. Look, if you could choose, this is your last question as well.
Right.
If you could choose one superhero power, what would it be and why?
Well, grandson this one, but I know he would say it would have to be Spider-Man.
Okay.
But no, I think linking back to being a dolphin, I'd like to be able to swim without having to come up too often to breathe and without a big tank on my back.
Okay. So that's Aquamarine Man.
Aquamarine Man, yeah, marine man.
Yeah. He's got long hair. He's bristling with
muscles.
Yeah. Handsome. Yeah. Everything. Yeah. Okay. I'll buy into that, Phil.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything you want to add before I close the interview down?
I don't think so, really. As I say, just being part of Try Coaching is a good thing. It's a great, it certainly seen me good and helped me go forward. So, yeah, just keep going.
Okay. All right, Phil. Well, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you all for watching. And Phil, I'll leave it over to you to say goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.